Hi everyone, I'm Greg Spitz from the Liberty Packaging Company. When I'm not doing tech work or making videos for Liberty, I'm off playing guitar with my band. No, we're not called Spitzy and the Liberty Packages. We're called the Van Burens. That's right, like Martin Van Buren, the 8th and greatest President of the United States. And I'm here in our practice studio, just finishing up changing my strings. You know, for a guitar player, strings are where the rubber meets the road. It's where you get to feel the guitar in your hands. Which makes strings, much like tires on a car, arguably the most important part of the guitar. Also, like tires, strings take a lot of abuse, especially from a player like me. You know, I grew up listening to that classic bluesy rock like Zeppelin, Clapton, Pink Floyd. All those guitar players love to bend the strings, which makes me love to bend the strings. That being the case, when I go to pick up a new set of strings, I want to be sure that they're going to be able to handle that kind of abuse, which means those strings can't be corroded or oxidized. Now, strings for the electric guitar and for many acoustic guitars are made of metal, and metal naturally oxidizes and corrodes. But a corroded or oxidized string not only sounds bad, but it's also going to break sooner, which is bad for me. But there are ways to prevent or at least slow down that corrosion process. There's a story from another guitar player named Greg from Australia who was touring with his band in the South Pacific and ended up visiting a friend in the Philippines. Now his friend showed him this very rare 1990 Gibson Stereo 345 guitar. Now I'm sure when the friend bought this guitar in the mid-90s that it was beautiful. But the friend stored it just in its case in storage in the Philippines. Now the Philippines tends to be pretty humid, and that humidity just means a higher rate of corrosion. So as you can imagine, when this friend showed Greg the guitar 17 years later, all the metal was corroded and tarnished, and of course the strings were corroded and unplayable. So naturally wanting to play the guitar, Greg asked his friend if he had any fresh strings to put on. And the friend said all he had were a few set of strings that he bought with the guitar 17 years earlier. Now, strings are usually packaged in something like this, which is literally just paper. Now this paper is doing nothing to stop these strings from corroding. If I were to leave these strings out for even a year, they would become possibly unplayable, but definitely sound bad. But the strings that Greg's friend gave him had been packaged in Intercept technology. Now, Intercept technology is an amazing anti-corrosive packaging that can prevent strings and metals and anything from oxidizing. So, to Greg's surprise, when he opened those strings up, after 17 years of storage, they were like the day his friend bought them. They were pristine. And Greg threw the strings on, and they sounded great. But I'm sure the friend was kicking himself for not putting the guitar in Intercept too, and saving it from 17 years of rust and corrosion. But that's the kind of thing we as guitar owners need to start thinking about. Corrosion is a problem, and Intercept is the best solution. For more information about my band, the Van Burens, check out vanburenmusic.com. For more information about Intercept technology, go to libertypackaging.com. Thanks for listening.